We've all felt unseen or unheard at some point in our lives. It's only natural. Such is the case of the author for today's story, Darlene Quintel. In The Unheard Invisible Child, she explains how she went most of her young life being, well, unseen and unheard. This story is intended for all audiences. Ever since I was a little girl, all I wanted to do was talk to people. Ask them how their day was, how they were doing, just simple stuff like that. However, it was a lot more complicated than I thought it was. Whenever I tried to talk to my parents, they'd always respond with, honey, I'm on an important business call, okay? Can you just, okay, thank you, bye. Sorry, what were you saying, darling? Touch them! It was frustrating, but I figured this was the way of things. As long as I had friends I could talk to, then everything would be okay. However, all my friends wanted to talk about were boys, glitter, glamour, just stuff I didn't care about. And they never asked me how I was doing, or what I wanted to talk about, or anything like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I never wanted to be the center of attention, or something like that. It's nice to be noticed once in a while. I thought maybe things would change by the time I got to high school. I'd found a new group of friends who were a lot like me. They found it hard to talk to others, and they shared my interests. But it didn't take long for them to become just like my old friend group and just like my parents, meaning I could barely get a word in edgewise. The dating aspect did not get any better either. I'd always end up dating these total meatheads. Whenever I'd ask them how their day was, they'd always respond with, "Oh, yeah, Johnson, you got a touchdown. It was wicked, man." Great. Do you have anything you want to ask me? Yeah. You paying for dinner tonight? Was so freaking frustrating. I thought, okay, maybe college would be better, right? I'm an adult, people act more maturely, surely things had to get better. But they didn't! They remained exactly the same. People would always just pass me off. They never asked me how I was, or anything like that. It got to the point where I considered running away, just forgetting my friends and family, just like they'd forgotten me. I see how they like it. But I knew that that wasn't the answer, and I just tried to keep on pushing through. But then, my grades started to suffer, my social relationships, or what little ones I had, weren't doing too well either. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why I found it so difficult to talk to others, or just assert myself. I mean, that's really all it took, right? Why couldn't I do that? Soon, I really did try to run away. I was about to drive out of town and leave the past behind me. I stopped at a cafe first, thought I'd get maybe one more mocha in. And then I saw this nicely dressed girl. She was actually from one of my classes. She had all these people around her, talking to her, asking her how she was doing and what she was drinking, just stuff like that. I had to know her secret. So I went up to her, tapped her on the shoulder lightly, and just asked, "How do you do it? How do you get all these people to just talk to you? I need to know." Well, you see," she replied, there's not really much of a secret. I mean, it's that simple. Just try to put yourself out there, honey. I mean, it sounds a lot scarier than it actually is, but once you do it, you'll be glad you did. I decided to maybe take her advice and just put myself out there one last time. No matter how scared I was just gonna do it. And it worked! I started hanging out with people who were always asking me, how my day was or how I was doing. And I started dating guys that were pretty nice and considerate of me. Again, I never wanted to be the center of attention or a drama queen. But when you don't have other people asking you how you are, it starts to get to you. And it certainly got to me. That's what I have to say to anybody who might be worrying that they're just a wallflower and it will stay that way. It might be scary, but when you put yourself out there, when you really just assert yourself, then you'll see results. You'll have a lot of people just talking to you, asking you how you are.